Hi everyone. So these are the finals of the Responsive Banking app project. So we're just going to look at the process quickly, just to kind of see, obviously, how we got to this and the kind of visual development that was done. Um, so going back to the beginning, which was doing mood boards, looking at other people's work. These are other examples, and just to clarify that. Um, the, um, the theme was for it to be playful, clear, and trustworthy. So I looked at examples which showed that. So these are some of the examples that I felt kind of resonated those attributes. Then looking at other UI elements, other states. Again, these are other people's work. So just seeing how others have kind of used um, elements within their design. And then referencing to the type, this is now me looking at different types. So I, researched in terms of what type would be beneficial. There's obviously sans serif and serif fonts here. Let me just get closer so you can see. Um, um, Ideally, I understand that it is best to kind of go with sans serif fonts. Others have used other websites, professional websites have used both. And so in the end, I went with Roboto, which is a sans serif font, and I was quite happy with that. It's quite a common, well-known within the kind of, website industry, tech industry, and it's just like so within UI. So, and it seemed quite strong, and, there's different, obviously, ways you can have, I showed different like scales of the color. So of black was, if it was to be quite a lot of text, not to have it, not to have it ideally too much, it's, too black. And then obviously different colors as well, which, if the font was to be used, how would it look? So the colors, this is the colors, obviously you've got a glimpse of that, the colors that, but I just did some research prior. So in terms of looking at other websites, other banking logos, the color schemes that they had used. So doing a bit of research about that, what's been used from before to now. And you're looking at the psychology, the meaning of the colors. Purple seemed to be like a good balance. Blues have been used traditionally. Now there's more purple, so just kind of going with the balance of kind of purpley blue, like that kind of range of color. So there's a different colors, shades, and the color palette that I ended up kind of like moving towards to develop. One of the attributes, playfulness, I wanted to look at icons that were more fun. Like, to me, this seemed more fun. These are free icons that are available, so it worked well, kind of time constraint to kind of use assets that were available, and they were free and they worked quite nicely. I felt like they've been used before with other UI designs, and it seemed quite playful, and modern. So I looked at kind of developing more at that kind of look, developing that particular kind of look. So having a selection of icons, which ones I'll be using, which profile pictures I'll be using, and then just changing them to the color scheme of that I'll be using within the UI design that I'll be creating. And then so here is like some development of the screen. So you have like previous like designs, just have a kind of look through the development of how things were, the beginning, navigation, how they would look, cards, layout, background, where to put the call to action. And then you have here screen 2, again just kind of developing 3 screens for that particular screen. This is the original templates. These original templates to see how to be developed, looking at different ways of presenting the information, the graphs, too much noise going on here. So, that was something to consider. But it was something that, it was only through the process that, I was able to kind of discover that. And again, here, this is the third screen. This is now looking at the graphs and how to kind of show the dark graphs in different ways. How to show the cards in different ways, have it overlapping or not. So yeah, and have them on top, or have it half cutting off, which is later on how it got developed, and just obviously looking at what to keep and where to keep, and placements of desktop, tablet, and mobile. Here you've got again just some bit more kind of developing from one another. It seems probably very, very subtle, but there was obviously in terms of spacing, how much to space out, and width, the line length, and just kind of what to have, here just kind of, just developing and progressing what looks good and what works and what doesn't work, and just kind of going through that. So again with the bars, what colours work, what doesn't work. That's obviously quite simple. Let's progress to that. And then you have here development stage, further development. Here, as I mentioned, it's quite noisy having these extra elements, it's quite a lot going on here. These cards, having them either smaller or bigger, the shape of them, and just having a darker background, lighter background, the placement of the information. At the moment, I've just kind of kept it black and white for the information, and then here just kind of developing it further. I kind of went through some color change here, green. I know it wasn't part of the color palette, but it was one of the colors that was used within Banks, for Banks, one of the logo colors. I did obviously, just kind of checked what worked, and just kind of if I was to use it, what's the color ratios. Color ratio wasn't too bad. This one's actually the highest, 17.24, so it's basically this one. And then just kind of looking at obviously visually how they actually look, but because they did actually pass, I think one didn't pass, so this one actually failed. So and obviously you can see as well, it's quite strong. So as well, so obviously that was a good point to realize. And then you just have kind of the development of the color correction, developing more to kind of this color now, and just kind of, so the call to action still kind of is within the same color range, but it pops out more, obviously because of the light background. And then you have okay, well, this is obviously quite dark, so that was then kind of developed, that was then now developed to kind of a more lighter color. Obviously here it's all connected, so but then it's quite dark, and then you obviously want the contrast to be good, so here it's ended up going with that design in the end. And then so that's mainly really, and then obviously going back to the finals. So thank you.